Here's how you can make a graham cracker gingerbread house. We're going to start with a base, in this case made out of foam core, that measures about 12 by 15 inches. And we're just marking a spot here about the basic footprint of the gingerbread house. Then we're going to wrap that with aluminum foil and holding the dull side up, tape it in place. Then we're going to separate 2 raw eggs. We need just the egg whites for the glue that we're going to make, which is actually called royal icing. And you'll notice that we're using confectioner's sugar, 2 egg whites, and a little cream of tartar. That helps to stabilize the eggs. First, you're going to beat the egg whites for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're nice and stiff, and then you're going to dump in the confectioner's sugar and a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and you're going to continue mixing this together for another 3 or 4 minutes, and it'll whip and become very stiff. And what I'm doing now is making a pastry bag or an icing bag. I'm starting with a Ziploc bag and just taking off a very tiny corner of the end of it and filling the bag then, or at least putting a few scoops of the heavy frosting icing glue that we're making into the bag. Now you want to be able to Ziploc that, and if you're not using a Ziploc bag, it doesn't matter. Just twist the top of the bag above it so that when you squeeze it, it only comes out through the hole in the end. Then using that like glue, you didn't see, but we put some of it on the bottom of the crackers here that we're using as the base. And you'll notice from before, the footprint of the building is about where it was. I'm using no cutting board here. I actually use a cutting board to do this. But you can use a serrated knife and slide it back and forth very gently. You don't have to bear down much at all or you crack the crackers. But you can use that quite effectively to cut square and straight lines in the crackers. Now you'll notice that we cut the crackers on an angle here so we can angle our roof. And we're using the bag to apply the icing glue, which is that same mixture that we were beating up before in the bowl. And we're going to apply that around the edges of everything and then lay the crackers in place. The glue, the stiffer that you can make the glue, the better. Otherwise, things on a vertical surface tend to slide off, and candies, the heavier ones, may slide off the roof. Now we're just building this little gable out over the front door, and then we're finished the first day with something that looks something like this. And you can use the leftover icing to make icicles, and it lasts probably overnight in the refrigerator just fine. But we're making more the next day because we're using this batch now to apply the candies. Here we're separating some gumdrops. They come as red and green, and we're going to put about 40 of the green ones in a bowl and maybe about 10 of the red ones. Then we're going to use an ice cream cone, a sugar cone, the one that's actually a cone shape, and using a red one on the top, we're going to actually cut all of these gumdrops in half lengthwise, and it makes applying them to the sides so much easier, to the sides of the cone. And the weight isn't so great either. You start from the top and work your way down, and they stick in place quite well. And after we apply all of these with the red gumdrops intermittently, as you can see, we can use the squirt bag to put the sugar in between some of the cracks between the gumdrops. Now here we're adding just some green food coloring to the existing icing that we had. This is just a little leftover icing. And we're going to beat this up. You want to, it's real stiff as you can see, but it's good to get all of the color evenly throughout the glue icing that we're making here. This is exactly the same icing that we were using before. Then we can use this to attach evergreens like other gumdrops. As you can see, the little hedges we made around the outside. Or you could add a little blue to it and make a pond like we did in the front yard. And we have Swedish fish swimming in that. And we've got a fence with red licorice and red licorice rain spouts. And this is what she looked like when we're done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a happy holiday. Thanks for watching.